Hello, hello. I'm 2 minutes early just to get started. Hi. Okay. Can everyone hear me okay? That's what I need to know, is if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hi, Stephanie. Okay, great. We're gonna give it 1 more minute so we officially start on time. Everyone, let's pray I don't spill this drink on my lovely white shirt. Okay, everyone, we're getting there. Happy Sunday. Okay, great. Well, it is now that time. It is 4:30 my time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you're comfortable. My name is Porsha Kimble. I go by Your Cake Diva. And today, this lovely Sunday, we will be discussing baking and business. This is a very long class. Excuse me, I'm going to be plugging my phone in before I get started so my phone doesn't die. And so Jennifer doesn't kill me later. Okay, so my name is Porsha Kimble, Your Cake Diva, and I am based out of Dallas, Texas. So we have 2 hours today. So this is kind of my suggestion. Let's kind of go in sections. We'll do like sessions. And then I will ask questions because I know that's going to be a big thing. So before we get like into it, we have 2 hours. That's a lot of talking for me and a lot of information to retain. We can take a couple breaks, maybe just a bathroom break so you don't miss anything, things like that. So don't be afraid you're going to like miss something or anything like that. The other thing is, thank you so much for joining me. You do not have to be spending your time listening or watching me. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your time and your energy today. And I also would like to thank Cake Expo for having me be a part of this wonderful virtual platform. Of course, we would all like to be in person, but due to COVID, that just didn't happen. But this is the next best thing. So make sure you give a round of applause to everyone making this possible. Jennifer, thank you so much for having me and putting this together and sending these shirts to everyone. And I just want to give my my thanks to that and to all of you. So let's get started. When I started baking 15 years ago, I was so excited about just creating and just baking and all of those things that I did not realize that there was a business side or a business portion to cake. I mean, I don't think any of us think that way when we're making cupcakes or cookies. I think we just get really excited, and then we post our work on social media, and we have our friends and our family, you know, amp us up and tell us, oh my God, you should open a bakery and you should do all these things. And you kind of start believing it. And then at some point in your journey, some point along the way, you kind of ask yourself if you're making any money. I know that's what I did. I was kind of like, am I getting a return after I worked so hard? I mean, I was just on a roll and I was just really excited. And I just really wasn't paying attention to the money. I was just paying attention to what I was making. And I think a lot of people do that. That probably is one of the biggest misconceptions, is we're doing all of this and we don't really realize if we're getting paid for it or not until later on down the road. Like I said, we're just really happy to be making something, and then you're like, wait, how much do I charge? The biggest misconception that I have heard along traveling, teaching this course, there's two things. One is, oh, it's simple, and two, it's not going to take me very long. Those are the two worst things that you could tell yourself in getting started or making anything is, oh, it's really easy. It's really simple. First off, the simplest cakes are the hardest cakes. And what you think won't take a lot of time may take longer than you think, because sometimes life just throws you a curveball. Now, as we get into this, let me give you a few disclaimers. You do not have to like what I'm going to say. You do not have to abide by what I'm saying, and you don't have to believe in what I'm saying. But if you can just take just a small piece of information and apply it to your process, then the time that you are watching me and listening to me is well worth it. So let me point that out. The other thing is, and I'm going to say this probably a couple times during our time, is pricing is not going to bring you a ton of customers. There is a transition phase when you are trying to be better for yourself and better for your business, and you're going to get mad because you are going to lose customers once we go through these exercises. And again, this isn't about you gaining more customers. It's about you getting the right customers for your business. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. This is for you to get the customers that you want and that deserve you and that appreciate your time and your knowledge and your experience. So along the way, the people that have been loyal to you, loyal customers that are so used to your, inexpensive or cheap pricing, they will fall off. Some will ride with you into the sunset, and some are going to drop off. And typically what happens after you take this course or listen to what I have to say, you get really, really excited, and then you start giving the new prices and people get upset, and then you want to get mad at me. I'm not here to upset you. I'm here to get you on the right path. And when you want to go from one way to another, it's never easy. We're switching from the far right hand lane to the left hand lane, okay? So I just want to point that out. Don't be getting all mad at me, okay? All right, so let's talk about contracts first. If you don't have a contract, you need to get one. I don't care if you have a business from home. I don't care if you have a bakery. It doesn't matter. You should protect yourself. Protection, protection, protection. It's like wearing a mask now. Protect yourself, and you should at all costs. A lot of us don't think that anything could happen. Well, I just do this as a hobby, and I don't think, anything can occur. It can. I've been sued as a home baker, and having a contract is the only thing that saved me. Even the judge said so. It's not about if your client eats the cake. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's clearly about the description that I had in the contract, and that made a huge difference, and that's what made me win. I gave them exactly what the contract stated. They signed it, and really what happened after that really didn't matter, even though I thought it did. The other part is when making something, you are not, cake god, end all be all. People have a vision and an image in their mind. So if anybody ever comes to you and says, well, you can do what you want, just run the other direction. Or what I like to do is say, can you send me 4 pictures or 4 images of what you have in mind? Because people honestly always have something that they're going to compare it to. No matter what anyone says, that's going to happen. So remember that, because what you want to do may not be what they want. But when we get it really excited to do free reign with no direction, it normally flops. So I just want to give that piece of advice to anyone who's new out there. Take the reins on the fake cakes. Don't take the reins on a customer's cake unless you've probably been working with them for some time now. That would make a difference. So in my contract, and it is on my website, I like to have something, and so I just kind of want to go over this because this is the business part of the baking. is, and you can change it up however you want, I have all of this up at the top here. It has the order date, the event date, the client name, the client phone number, number of servings, cost per serving, which I would take that off now, the event location, and the setup time. And then down here I have cake flavors and cake detail. So I typically would put tier 1, tier 2, 3 from top to bottom. And then on the cake flavors, I would actually do the same thing, like tier 1, and just kind of work across. But you don't put the flavors on the details. I always like to put the decor is what I would do. And I would put the colors all white, red ribbon, flowers on top. Client's going to provide a topper. It will be on site. Get as detailed as possible, because that's what saved me in court. Was I put an all black tiered wedding cake, and that's exactly what they got. I didn't put frosting, I didn't put fondant. You can totally do that, but at the time I was really inexperienced, but I did have this, and so that saved me. So don't be afraid to put here, you know, what's going to be happening. The other part of the second portion of my contract is what I take with me everywhere. I don't care if they electronically sign it online. I don't care if they sign it and take a picture of it and send it back to me, which everyone can do now with technology on their phones. I actually take these 2 pieces of paper, I will print them out before I leave and take them with me, and have the representative or the groom, which is normally around somewhere, it's never the bride, have them sign or date. This does say at the bottom, I agree to the terms set out in the contract, and I agree that I am the person responsible for all payments and decisions regarding this cake order. If you are unsatisfied with your order upon delivery/pickup and do not express concern at that time, you will not receive credit or any type of refund. If you are not there and have a coordinator or event planner, they will be your representative. If you do not express concern 7 days from the day of your event, there are no refunds, credit, or solutions. Now, at this point in my life, I would probably take that last sentence out. But also at the top, it has bride's cake, groom's cake. Let's say that you don't have a bride or groom. I have a custom cake here, setup and delivery price, miscellaneous, which would be like toppers, flowers, anything of that nature, the grand total. I have a deposit amount, deposit made, tasting amount if they did get one, remaining balance, when the balance is due, and when it's paid on full. And every time the customer makes a payment, I update this and email it to them. So it's a paper trail for myself, and it's a paper trail for them, and it's just a reminder, hey, you owe me some money, okay? You owe me some money, honey. So fork it over, sister. So if you have someone pay a deposit and they don't pay you the entire 9-10 months, something ain't right. So let me just break it down. Something isn't right. I'm telling you, something's in the water. Most of the time, people like to pay stuff out. I've only had less than a handful of clients in 15 years pay their full balance 2 weeks prior. And that's when I have the balance due 2 weeks prior. I don't do the week of. There's too much stuff going on. There's too much stress. And this goes for event cakes too. It's not just wedding cakes. You should have a contract for all cakes. Even cupcakes. Yes, I said it. Cakes, cupcakes, cake pops, Rice Krispie treats, marshmallows. Make something if you need to. Make a form for each thing, or make a form where you have all your treats and you circle what it is and go with the description. That may help so you don't have a lot of paper and things like that, but I'm just telling you. Now, due to COVID happening, I have always had in my contract about godly acts and how it is not my responsibility what Jesus is choosing to do or whatever higher power that you believe in. Okay? So let me just point that out. Yes. Cake Diva has you covered, boo, because I'm not going through that. I do state that my initial deposit, however you want to state it, is non-refundable and it's non-transferable. This goes in hand when you're dealing with someone who's pregnant. and they had their baby early. Of course, it's nobody's fault. And then they're like, I want you to give me my baby shower cake in 3 weeks, but you're going to be on vacation with your family. You can, of course, make amends to whatever you want to on your contract. But if you don't want to, and it is what it is, you have that in your contract. Also state that there's no refunds under any circumstances. But I also have that if I choose to cancel, yes, if I choose to cancel, which I have done. I have canceled on a bride. It says you will receive a deposit as a refund within 60 days of the cancellation. You heard me right. So if the wedding cake is $1,000 and your deposit was $200, they will only get $200, and I have 60 days to give them their coins. Okay. I also state that the balance is due in 2 weeks, or the contract is null and void. Now listen, come closer and look into my fake eyelashes. You see that? Look at it. You see? Look into them while I tell you this next part, because this is important. Honey, let me tell you where you get down to business. There will be an additional 25% charge to the total that is due if you're still wanting the cake to be processed. It says, I'm sorry, let me back up. If you miss your final payment on the initial date, there will be an additional 25% charge to the total that is due if you are still wanting the cake order to be processed. You heard me. So if your cake money was due on August the 1st and you didn't get it, and they call you tomorrow, you charge 25% interest pretty much of what is due. Is that harsh? No, it's business. And that's the other thing. Money doesn't equal emotion. Only happiness when you get paid. Okay, so there is also a clause in here that I'm not responsible for fresh flowers or cake toppers on the cake. I always bring it if they do pay additional. I've always asked them to, if they would like to mail it to me. Now with Amazon, you can totally do that. It's up to you. I also say we are not responsible for any damage to the cake after setup is complete. My biggest suggestion to you is before you leave, take a picture, like the rap song says, front, back, side to side. And I'm going to tell you, you never know what's going to happen. You never know if the event coordinator or someone who's styling the event has someone pick your cake up and switches the linen and then something falls off. So it's always great to take pictures or video, because now on our phones we have a timestamp. If you have Snapchat, this is a really great thing to do, because you can also scroll over, or on your Instagram, you don't have to post it in your feed, but you can save it, of the temperature as well, because I do state in here, cakes are heavy and require sturdy table and optimum room temperature of 75 degrees or below. I don't know why these people are putting their cakes out in the heat, honey. If you're sweating, what do you think is gonna happen? It's a mess. So make sure. A lot of people don't read this. I would strongly advise going over it beforehand. There's a lot going on. I also have something about non-toxic items, and also about the shades of color range. We all know that darker colors like blues and reds and greens and blacks, sometimes they can get stronger. They can do their own thing over time, and that's also in here as well. Does anyone have any questions? And that's just a brief overall summary. Does anyone have any questions about contracts before we move on? I just think I went through a really rough patch right before I got sued. People were coming late. People weren't paying on time. I was being way too nice. And I felt like having this piece of paper and having my customer sign it was protecting myself. So I would say, hey, you need to go look on page 3 and read, because, you know, number 10 is where it's at, and that's where you need to be looking at, because you don't think that someone is not going to ever be upset with you. It's coming if it hasn't, and you're not growing if it hasn't. So if you haven't had a complaint or something crazy happen, let me tell you. It is available for purchase on my website, www.yourcakediva.com. My biggest suggestion is don't just buy the contract, buy the cake guide, because the contract and the worksheets that we're going to go through are actually going to be all in one. So in the cake guide, there is the cake contracts, marketing, and workshop. So don't just get the contract, go with the cake guide. Okay, great question. Would you charge extra if they pick up late? Absolutely. So here's my suggestion. Anytime you have someone that's going to be picking up the cake, for some reason people just forget they have obligations the day that they're supposed to pick up the cake. I highly, highly suggest that you send them a Google Calendar invitation, okay? Send a Google Calendar invitation with an hour alert, 30-minute alert, and a 15-minute alert. Does it sound excessive? Yes, but make sure that they accept it. And you can also put the location of where you're meeting. Make sure that you put the correct time zone. And you need to put in the information. You have 15, 20 minutes to pick it up. If not, you cannot pick it up until the next business day. You can also put a disclaimer in there, and you can put a disclaimer in your contract that says, if you are late picking up, one option, the first option is you cannot pick it up till the following business day. So if little Timmy's cake is due on Saturday and you did not pick it up at 2 o'clock like you were supposed to, and I waited in the hot sun from 2 p.m. to 2:20 p.m., and I don't open back up until Monday, or Tuesday, you just don't get your cake till then, because that's what any other store would do. You're in business. So it sounds harsh, but it's a great learning lesson. Or you can also say option 2 is you need to give me $25 or whatever fee you want to put out there. I like to hit people where it hurts. $50 to me doesn't sound excessive these days, especially if you're sitting there in the heat, running your car, running gas. It's, whatever the case may be. And the other thing is people don't realize that you have a life. And even if you don't, you're just going home and putting your sweatpants on. That's none of their business. It's your business. So yes, really good question. So we had another question. How much should range you charge for a last minute order? Vanessa, amazing question. I charge double. So let's say today is Sunday and someone needs a cake for next Sunday. Let's say I quote the cake is $250. Now you owe me $500 and you cannot PayPal it to me and you cannot pay with a credit card. I'm gonna need you to Cash App it to me or do Square Cash, because that's what people do. It's last minute. It is the week of. And I don't want to, how much is it to break your plans? I mean, $25, I hear people say, well, I just charge a $25 late fee. What is $25? What is $50? $20 is the new $100 bill, and $50 is like $75 these days sometimes. So trust me, I would rather charge double, and I have had plenty of people pay me cash in double if they want something. And that's just the way it is. Are you charging more money for pandemic work? Amazing question, Ryan. You know what I am doing? I'm just having people pick up. I do live in a high rise. It is a secure building, so no one can just come in here unless you're able to come up, but some of you do have homes. I always suggest pickup being at a local grocery store parking lot, or Starbucks, which is my go-to. It's a public place. I think it just depends. I mean, what would you need to be charging more for? I mean, you're not doing anything. Now, if you want to do contactless, which is great, which I have done, honey, I'll put it right on your doorstep. I'm gonna put on the doorstep, I'm gonna knock, and I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna go to my car, I'm gonna wear my mask and my gloves, and I'm gonna sit in my car, I'm gonna roll the window down, I'm gonna wait for you to come out, and I'm gonna wave, and I'm gonna yell, thank you, and then I'm gonna drive off. A lot more people are doing delivery / contactless delivery, and to me, get your money. I charge $75 for delivery. $25 isn't covering anything. $50 ain't covering nothing neither, child. And if I have to go halfway, that's still delivery. Do not forget that. Someone said, oh, I'll just meet you halfway. Okay, but I'm not going that way, so you still owe me my delivery money. Now, I've had someone pay for a 6-inch cake that was $150 because she wanted all this stuff on it. And she asked me for contactless delivery, and I said, well, the delivery fee is $75. She paid for it. Now, also take note, she could have just come to pick it up. She didn't want to pick it up. She said, I don't want to have any interaction with you. I said, well, the only interaction I can think of if you pick it up is, you know, you unlocking the door. I put the cake on the floorboard for you. I'm going to have a mask on. I'm going to have gloves. She just didn't feel protected that way. But I've been fondling your cake all this time for days. So I didn't really see the difference, but I get it. That's where we're at right now. Anytime I've done a dollar cupcake day, I have also just had people almost like a drive-through. You know, don't get out of your car, pull up, roll your window down. You have to have your mask on, say what your name is, and then I will hand it to you and you can be on your way. If they want to pay for it, you know what, Ryan? Go ahead and charge a little extra $10, $15. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Go on and charge, boo. You might as well. You might as well. That was a good question, by the way. That cake was in your house, so I didn't understand why she wanted it to be contactless. I didn't get that part. Okay, I'm trying to read these comments. Give me one. Okay, the question is, do you have verbiage for price change announcements, or is that included in the information on the site? No, Megan, oh my God, amazing. So I don't think that you should announce that you are going to raise your prices. Do you announce when you're having a problem in your home? Do you announce when your kid gets in trouble at school, even though you know he's bad? No, you don't tell anyone because it's none of their business. Let me tell you what you do. When you raise the price, you just raise the price. Just like you're going to do after this class. After today, anyone new that calls or emails you or inquires, you're going to give them the new price. And you're not going to say, well, I would normally charge this, but this is what I'm going to charge because, well, I took this class and I just... No, we're not doing that. When you go look at a house, they don't say any of that. They just give you the price. Just give them the price, you know. And we're going to go through an exercise of, let's say, I always say Linda, let's go with Karen today. Let's go into this. Let's say that Karen has 3 kids, Timmy, Lee, and John, and they're all 3 years apart. And you've been making all their cakes since they were born. You made the wedding cake, you made all the cakes. Baby shower, Karen's been great to you. But now you want to go up on your price. And you can blame COVID if you want to. Blame COVID if you want to. That's totally fine. Everyone else is blaming things on COVID too, honey. So, exactly, I'm getting into that. Give me one moment. You guys are going really, really fast and I can't tell. How do you respond to past customers? Jen, we're getting there. Hold on for me. Do you have a change order fee? Yes, I do, Cheryl. It's in my contract. Do you cover allergies or vegan requests? I do, and I charge a ton more because it's so expensive. Okay, so let's go back. I'm sorry, I don't know if someone's facilitating the question because I can't see them. Okay, let's say Karen always orders cakes from you, like Jen said, and let's say she's always like, I'm gonna order an 8-inch buttercream cake. Just put the age, put happy birthday, you know, John, and he wants, you know, this great topper that says Fortnite. But honey, you are feeling your best self. You have taken this class. You are feeling confident about yourself. You feel like your skills have, you know, upgraded in some way. And you normally charge $50. I'm just throwing a number out. And if you are charging $50 for an 8-inch cake, shame on you, boo. Shame on you. Let's just say you charge $50. But now you want to charge $125, which is your right. And you're like, Karen, that cake is now $125. And Karen's like, WTH, what happened? And you're like, look, Karen, things are just different now. If you want to say something about the supplies, you can. It's totally up to you. But you can just say, you know, at this time, I've decided to raise my prices. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't give anyone an explanation when you decide to change your hair color or when you change up the style, because it's no one's business but yours. So 2 things are going to happen with Karen. Karen is either going to pay the $125, which you probably won't because she's got 3 kids and that's a lot. That's 3 birthdays, boo. Or she's going to say, not so much. And in good faith, you should refer her to someone else, because that's what a good business person does. You don't say, I don't know, because you do know, because we're all nosy. We know who makes cakes and treats in our area. Don't be that person, honey, and just not refer anyone. It will come back full circle. And in fact, that's what the community is about. You know, not everyone in your area probably likes each other that makes the same things, but there's got to be 1 or 2. There's got to be 1 or 2. There's got to be something. I think everyone is referring to the host. I am the host, but I am going to try to get to your comments as best as I can. I have my phone landscaped, so give me 1 moment. I also have my laptop so I can potentially read your comments. Give me 1 moment. I can see myself. I did refer clients to someone I know. Now, sometimes you gotta be careful. Sometimes you gotta be careful who you refer, because they may not come back. So you better watch yourself. You better watch it, because it can happen. It can happen. Okay. Do we have any more questions about the cake contracts that I can help anyone with? And you'll see me look over here to the side so I can try to, I says I can view as a visitor. That helps. I think. Does anyone have any more questions about what we just talked about? What would be your response if a customer tells you you can get a cake cheaper at a bakery in a grocery store? Holly, happens all the time. You know what you say? I think that's great. Thank you for inquiring to Cakes by Holly. I hope to work with you in the near future. And then you simply hit them with, God bless you. And that's it. Do you charge different prices for different flavors? Monica, yes. I mean, look, honey, if we have a German chocolate cake or an Italian cream or a hummingbird cake, you should be charging more. It's not the same as a vanilla cake. It's not the same as a chocolate cake. It's just not. It just isn't. It's kind of like your first marriage. You know, your first wedding may have been real lavish, or maybe you didn't marry for money and you just married for love. But then your second marriage, 2 things are going to happen. You're going to have some glamorous wedding, or, you know, you're going to get a larger ring, because everybody knows the second wife gets a bigger ring. So either way, they're not all the same. How do you accept inquiries, emails, or websites? Okay. I think it's important for you to have a website. Not everyone is on social media. Not everyone is doing that way. Taking payments, honey, take payments any way you can. I don't really care for PayPal that much, because if something happens, the customer always wins. Honey, better get your money through Cash App, Square, or even Facebook Messenger. Okay? I would say you need, like, carrot cake is more expensive than chocolate cake. So make sure that you charge accordingly, because coconut cake, carrot cake, all of those things are more ingredients than you would just put in a vanilla cake like that. So of course there is an upcharge, and I have that, you know, I used to have that stated on my website. Specialty flavors may be more expensive. The other thing is I didn't list all 20 flavors on my website. If you have 20 flavors on your website, no girl, no girl. Just like all those clothes in your closet, you're not wearing them. You're not wearing them So why are they still in your closet? So if you're not using all the flavors, why are they still in your cake closet / pantry? You know what your top 10 flavors are. Offer those. It's a one-off that anyone is going to be reaching out for some crazy thing. So have a disclaimer on your website and say, hey, special requested flavors or a difference in price, however you need to word it. So I just want to put that out there. How I respond to inquiries is they need to go through the website or they can just email me. And sometimes you get people that say, hey, how much is this? We all have that. Hey, can you tell me how much is this? Hey, how much is this? And that's the only thing they give you. You know, I'm kind of petty, but I'm like a tactful petty. I'm like, hello, first off, hello, how are you? I'm great. I need additional information to move forward in order to give you a quote. Now look, give the quote. You may or may not hear back from them. It's like going on a first date. You don't really know what's happening because you just met. The other part of it is, let's say it continues. Let's say you throw the bait out there, which is the quote. They come back and they nibble. And now you kind of want to build some sort of relationship. But we don't want to do too much because then we don't want them taking up a lot of our time asking all these questions and then it doesn't get anywhere. Basically, we're not going to go on a second date. So let's not do that. Let's find out where they're at and what we need to do. So I always ask the question, you know, what's the date that you need it? How many people does the cake need to feed? Now, sidebar here is, what is your minimum that you will be taking orders? Because you can't say, well, Porsha, it just depends. No, where are your standards? Just like going into a job interview, a corporate job, you don't go, well, you can just pay me whatever. I'll just do whatever. No, you have time and experience. Maybe you have an education and you want to get paid for those things. And that's how you need to look at yourself. You are worth what you want to get paid. So don't say you'll just take on anything, because you shouldn't ever do that. Maybe in the beginning because we just do a bunch of crap, but not now. Okay? Do they sign 2 contracts, one for them and one for you? No, they just signed one. The one they sign is the other one for me. So we just have it. So don't forget that. So again, have a minimum. So if they say, oh, it needs to feed 15 people, and you're like, girl, I don't do that. And you say, look, there's 2 things you can do here. You're not going to like the second option. The first option is you can take it, or you can say, no, that's just not my jam. That cake's too small for me, which is what I've done in the past. Let's say your minimum, maybe it's not necessarily a minimum to feed. Maybe your price point is you want to get paid $2.50 and that's your starting point for cakes. You notice what I said there? A price point for your services. It didn't say anything about the size of the cake, but $2.50 is what you will, turn your oven on for. So if someone comes to you and says, well, I want a cake to feed 15 people, you can say, well, that cake is $2.50. And I'd be like, what? It's $2.50. If you want a cake for me, it's $2.50. Or you can say, my minimum serving is 30. That's a 6 and a 9-inch cake. I don't do anything less. So either you can upgrade or I can't help you. Some of you probably don't like either one of those, but you need to pick. I wouldn't be making a 15-inch cake for $75. I wouldn't even make it for $100. But not everyone lives in the same area. I am in the Metroplex, and not everyone can do that depending on where they live. So you need to plug those numbers in as you see fit. Does anyone else have any more questions? And yes, once they sign the contract, they just email it to me and I save it on file. And again, every time they make a payment, I change the balance and then just send it back to them so they have it. Don't take a check. I know someone asked about payment. You never want to take a check. Nobody's doing that anymore. No. Just like people aren't meeting people in real life for dates. Does anyone else have any more questions about contracts or anything else before we move forward? But let me go back to Karen. Again, don't be afraid, and you may feel that you're going to lose a customer, and that's okay, because someone will take Karen's spot if Karen doesn't want to pay the $125 because she's been paying $75. It's understandable. It happens. What other questions do you ask besides the date and number? Okay, so in the cake guide that has the contract and everything, I have date, phone number, email, event date, time the event starts, the location, and the number of guests. And then, of course, I think it's really important for people to stop thinking of just this. Let's pretend this is the cake. You can't just think of this and this is it. You know what questions I like to ask? I like to ask, what color is the table linen? What size is the table? Because if your event and your cake, well, say your event is for 50 people and you have a cake to feed 50 people, and they say, oh, we have this 8-foot round table for you to put your cake on. No, it's gonna swallow the entire thing. Honey, Microsoft Word, you don't need to put your contracts in nothing else, save it. Save it to your computer. You don't have to get fancy with it. And also use your calendar on your phone, Google Alert, or anything like that to keep your order straight. And you also need to decide what your minimum is to make for the week. You shouldn't I just feel like, you know how you have a threshold of how many glasses of wine you're gonna have? Like if you know if you can drink 3 glasses of Stella Rosa and then you're down for the count, that's how you need to figure out about your cakes. What is it that you can go to without killing yourself? Ask yourself that question, and that'll tell you how many orders you need to take that week. Sometimes I send a contract and ask that they review and sign. I had some people tell me they don't know how to send it back. I guess they can scan it back. Is that something? Okay, you can tell people to take a picture of it on their phone and email it back to you, not text. But that's what I would say. Take a picture of it. Now, if you have an iPhone, I don't know about you Android or Galaxy folks, but on the notes on the iPhone, you can actually scan a document and email it that way. So you can go to your notes, take a picture of the document. So they say they print it out, and they say, even if they don't, they can take a picture of the actual document and do a signature that way through their filter or through the app. And then they can just send it to you. This day and age, there's no reason that anybody should not be able to get you your paperback other than my mother, because she doesn't know how to do any of that. Maybe your mom. Maybe you. There's too many ways for you to figure it out. Just take a picture. I used to tell clients all the time, just take a picture and email it to me, because that's really all I need. I just need a capture of your signature. Don't let these people fool you with this day and age with all these fancy phones. They know what they're doing. Again, whatever your drinking threshold is, some of you may be a little bit more than others. Be careful. Would you charge more for Swiss meringue buttercream? Absolutely. I don't make Swiss meringue, but yes, DocuSign is good. Thank you, Vanessa. I would totally charge more for Swiss meringue. And the other part of it is, you know, if you want to put that you have 3 or 4 different buttercream options, you know, on your website, you don't have to say this one's more, this one's more, this one's more. It's just part of the price. Now, someone tells you when you're emailing, let's get back to that because I feel like I jumped away from that. Let's say someone emails you. Let's say Linda reaches out. She wants a cake and you ask her all these questions. When is it due? How many people does it need to feed? And she sends you a 3-tiered Fortnite cake for her son. And it's got all the colors. And you ask her again, it's 3-tiered. And you're like, how many people does it need to feed? And she says 20, 25. But I want it to be a 2-tiered cake. That is your job as a professional and in this industry to say, okay, the cake you sent me is 3 tiers. Which design do you like, and which one would you like on the top, and which one would you like on the bottom? So let's do that first. She can come back and say, oh, I like the top and I like the bottom. Get the middle one out. That's when you need to start assessing the colors. And that's what we're about to get into on the pricing. Are we ready for that portion? Is that it as far as that goes? And again, you also want to ask people where the cake is going to be positioned in the room? Is it going to be up by the bathroom? Is it going to be outside? Is it going to be in the back and someone's going to wheel it out? Is there going to be a room flip? I mean, there's so many things. So many things. I only do cakes. I am not a cookie person. I only eat the slice off Toll House chocolate chip cookies. I like them warm, and I like a good decorated sugar cookie only when I'm out of town. And I do cupcakes. I don't like to do a bunch of intricate toppers. I feel like people don't like to pay for it. People just like a good cupcake sometimes. But, you know, every once in a while you have someone who's willing to pay. But I'm not a cookie person. I mean, the cookies are in a whole nother country, along with the apples. They're their own planet. You can charge more for high ratio. You know, you can also charge more for ganache. Ganache, I know that sounds crazy to chart, like to use it during the summer months, but it holds up really well. You can also put buttercream on top of the ganache if you want to, which is strange to me because I would just use white chocolate. White chocolate doesn't even taste like chocolate, in my personal opinion. But you can also put fondant on top of the ganache. It does hold up outside a little bit more. But again, if you want to, you know, increase the price with high ratio shortening, you absolutely can. Great pointer. Anyone else? It's 5:15, which is 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. So we have a little bit more ways to go. I think we have 45 minutes left. Anyone else? Oh, and you know what another good question to ask is, are you having any other treat or dessert vendors? Because you'd be surprised. You pop up at these events and there's like an entire cake table. They got a cake from someone else. It's there. I have seen it all. So you never ever know. So make sure you ask all of those questions. And sometimes, you know, when people say, oh, we just need a cake for this, ask them what other desserts are having. Ask them what time drinks are going to be served. Ask them if there's going to be kids there. Ask them if it's mainly adults. Sometimes if you have an elderly couple, no shade, no tea, but if you have an elderly couple getting married, their guests may be diabetic, honey, and they may not need all that dessert. Honey, tell the folks what they need. That's your job. All right. Let's get into it. All right. I am still working my full-time job. I have not gone full-time cake. That is not my desire. And at this time, I'm kind of glad with COVID, so I still have my job and I work from home. Denise, I did not have a lawyer go over my contract. However, I did have a lawyer look over my contract when we went to court, and she stated that I was in good hands. However, you're welcome to purchase the contract that's in the cake guide and then have it revised by a lawyer if need be. And I think that a lot of people quit their job because they don't like it. I like my job. And when I go do cake stuff, I'm getting paid with my PTO and I have benefits. Not everyone feels that way, but that's how I feel about it, and I'm good with it. I've always worked full-time and done what I was doing full-time as well, and I enjoy it. And in that cake guide, I have my process of what I do Monday through Friday to get ready for the cakes that are due for the weekend. So you can totally apply. It's got pictures step-by-step of what I do, and you can read it there if you like. Okay, so everyone get I am a Virgo, by the way. We have an hour, 45, I said 45 minutes. We have an hour and 15 minutes left. Why don't we go ahead and everyone get pen and paper. I'm sorry, I couldn't count. I said 45 minutes. Let's get pen and paper and talk about cake pricing. So we need someone. The cake guide is on my website, www.yourcakediva.com. You can go there. It is, I believe, in the store. I can tell you how much it is in one moment. Did we catch up on all the questions? Let's go right now. It's you can go to the online store on the website and you can see the cake guide there. Again, the cake guide has the contract. There's a contract next to it, but just in case. The cake guide is only $10. It has recipes. It has pictures of me, hello, of my family, myself and Mr. Rogers. There's also some personal stories. So if you're nosy, honey, you will thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, yes, the contract is $5. The cake guide is $10, but the cake guide has everything. Everything. All right. Ain't nothing to do but to do it. So in my cake guide, I have what's called a YCD cake supply worksheet. If you get this PDF, you can print it out, make copies, laminate it if you need to. Let me give you a little trick, okay, what I used to do when I started. I actually was at work on Microsoft Word, and I would I basically typed every tier and how many people it fed and the price next to it for Buttercream. Now, some of you will ask, well, will say that you charge more for fondant than you do for Buttercream. I don't believe that. You might be shook by what I just said. I feel like you should just charge the same price. Fondant, you know, you may feel like, oh, I can roll it out, throw it on the cake, but then Buttercream is less expensive in ingredients and supplies, but it takes you longer to get a smooth finish. So it's like you've got time, you've got cheap supplies, more time, costs more, less time, it equals out. That's how I feel. I feel they equal time and money, and either one, less expensive takes more time to get a smooth buttercream and edges, more expensive takes less time, and you're really on the same playing field. So let's say you charge $10 for fondant and $8 for buttercream. Boo, just put it all in there and get your $10 per serving. Get it all. Get it all. Get it all. Just like when you get married, you're supposed to get the ring you want. Don't let anyone pull that facade over you that you're going to get an upgrade in 15 years, because we don't know if the marriage is going to last 15 years, and you don't even know, you know, if you're going to be alive. So I just get what you want from the beginning. I have stopped charging different for fondant and buttercream. Exactly, it is the same playing field. That's exactly what I said. Honey, get it all. Get it all. All right. So if you don't have the cake guide, which most of you don't, and you have a piece of paper, I want you to do something for me. I want you to separate it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want you to put, you're going to have one big area and then two medium-sized areas and then 3 smaller ones. Okay. So first we're going to talk about what cake that we're going to price. Now listen to me. Look into my fake lashes and fake fingernails that need a fill. You don't have to agree. Hold on just a minute. But do you still have to put a smooth coat of frosting under your fondant? No, it doesn't have to be perfect, girl. That's why you're going to put the fondant on there. No, you want a good coat with frosting, but it doesn't have to look pretty. Oh, no. It's like putting foundation on. Cover it up, girl. Cover it up. Okay. So, we're going to plug in numbers. You're going to plug in numbers. How do you charge for edible images? It depends. My cake supply store charges $17 a sheet. So, we're going to just plug in the numbers. So, play along. Okay? So, we're going to get into that. Please save your question about the fake cake. We'll get into that in a minute. But right now, let's get into the pricing portion. So, plug in these numbers as a group. This is a group activity. Okay? A group activity. You can go back and manipulate the numbers later. But since this is my class, we're all going to pick a number. It's going to be interactive. And that's what we're going to do. Okay? All right. Let me see what her question is really quick. So get ready. In regards to styrofoam cake, customers tend to forget supplies and time are needed to decorate. How do you explain that to them? You don't. This is the price. American Airlines does not explain everything that they do, and neither should you. We will get into foam and fake cakes in one moment, but let's get to this first. Okay, so the first section, you need to write cake supplies. And under cake supplies, we're going to use cake mix for this purpose. I use cake mix. I don't use it all the time, but I do most of the time. So you're gonna put cake supplies and put a line. And under that, you wanna put cake mix, eggs, oil, water, extract, and pan release. We've got 6 things that we need to write down. Cake mix, eggs, oil, water, extract, and pan release. Does everybody have those 6 things written under cake supplies? So that's gonna be one column, or you can put that on one page. On the second section, you're going to put frosting supplies, and you wanna put an underline, okay? Make a thick underline. And under frosting supplies, again, we're just going basic for the class. I know everyone does something different, but you can make adjustments after this. We wanna put butter, salt, powdered sugar, creamer, or you can put extract underneath frosting supplies. Again, frosting supplies, underline, and then put butter, salt, powdered sugar, heavy cream / creamer / extract. That is the second area. Okay. The third area, I want you to put decorating supplies underline. And I want you to write out cake drum. Yes, cake drum. Box. Cake boards. Dowels or / bubble tea straws. I don't have this on my original one. Fondant, ribbon, topper, miscellaneous. Cake drum, box, boards, dowel rod / bubble tea straws, fondant, ribbon, topper, miscellaneous, and you can add bling on there if you like. Is everyone good with that? Everyone? Are we straight? Charm, I'm getting to that, honey. You're not the only one in here, but thank you. I got 2 hours, girl. 2 hours. That's a long time. So hold up. Wait a minute. We're going to get there. Okay. We are going to price this lovely cake right here. I'm gonna bring it over. We're gonna price this July 4th cake. I'm gonna step out of the way. I'm gonna push the camera back so you can see it. Excuse my sweatpants. Okay. So we've got the star with disco dust. We've got a 3-tier cake that's white. We have navy blue ribbon, red ribbon, and gold bling. We also have blue fondant and red fondant. This is the cake that we're going to be pricing. 3 tiers, 6, 8, and 10. 4 inches, 6, 8, and 10. White, navy blue, red, gold bling, gold, disco dust. Okay, does everyone see that? I'm gonna point it. I'm sorry, I hate to do that. There we go. This is it. I want you to look at it so you know what it looks like. I hope we're ready. Again, the sizes are a 6, 8, and 10 by 4 inch in height. Now, does someone want to be our calculator person? Because we always need a calculator. I can be the calculator person. Okay. Again, this is a group exercise, and we're going to be pricing together as a team, and then we will add them up and plug them into play. Okay. So, 1 cake mix to make a 4 inch cake in height. 1 cake mix, 8 inch, we need 2 cake mixes, and a 10 inch, we need 3. So you're gonna do 1 cake mix and split into 2 pans, 1 cake mix per pan, and then the 10 inch, you're gonna make 1 cake mix in one, 1 cake mix in the other, and then the last cake mix, the third one, you're going to split. I would say that this cake feeds 72 people. Yes, Stephanie. So the entire cake feeds 72 people. Before we move on, I want everyone on the top right hand of your notepad or whatever you're doing. This cake is feeds 72 people. It's covered in fondant. Please write the price. No delivery included at this time. Write down the price that you would give to a client. So everyone do that first. I'm going to give you 1 minute to figure that out. So we'll be right at an hour. Okay. I will give you that pan stuff in a minute. So again, this cake a 6, 8, and a 10 feeds 72 people. Write down the price that you would give a client for this cake. The worksheets are in there. However, I will give you the cake mixes that go in. So 3, 4, 5, 6 mixes, but we're not there yet. Does everyone have their price written on the top right-hand portion of your notepad of what you will be charging the client? Does everyone have that? Yes or no? You got to put a yes for us to move forward so I know what we're doing. Yeah, go ahead and put your number. Put your number in here. So some people say $6.50. I said 6 cake mixes. Some people said $2.50. Everyone lives in a different area, so let's not throw shade. It's 3 cakes. 3 cake mixes, 2 cake mixes. That's 5. 1 cake mix here is 6. So let's make sure that we do that. Again, everyone put your number, comment your number in the comments, please. Can we do that? Let's see what you're charging. And again, no shade, no tea towards anyone and what they want to price, because everyone lives in a different area and everyone has a different level of experience. Okay. So cake mix we need 6. How much is cake mix? And you do have to be interactive and put in the comments the prices. How much is cake mix right now? And let's pretend the entire cake is going to be vanilla, honey. The entire cake, top to bottom, is vanilla. Okay, I'm writing some of these prices down. The entire cake is vanilla, feeding 72 people. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, we're at the beginning portion of the pricing of the cake. We are going to be pricing this cake. It's a 6, 8, and a 10, covered in white fondant, and it feeds 72 people. Okay. All right, everyone, let's get to our pricing and let's get going. That's okay if you don't use cake mix in Nigeria. Just play along. And again, like I said, you can make adjustments or do what you need to do. Okay, we don't need an explanation. We just need you to just play along, okay? We don't need all that. Just $1.49 a box, $2.50 a box, $2 a box. So let's, just for the group activity, because we have some saying $2.50, some saying $1.50, some saying 99 cents at Walmart. Let's just for the group activity say it's $2 per cake mix, okay? So we're gonna say 2 times 6 is $12. So under the cake mix, under cake supplies on cake mix, just put $12. Again, like I said, you can make changes to it later, whatever you need to do, but we're gonna put $2 for the activity. 2 times 6, since we need 6 cake mixes, is gonna be $12. And even if it was $1.50, by the time you add tax, it's gonna be $12 anyway. So moving on. Okay, so next, how much are eggs? Now look, we can talk about bulk purchasing in a minute, but we know each cake mix needs three eggs. So if we have 6 cake mixes and 3 eggs per each one, that's 18 eggs. So how much is 18 eggs right now? How much is a carton of 18 eggs? Anyone? She said $2.49. She says $4.29. Where are you getting your eggs at, Shane? $3.50, $2.50, $3. Now you're not buying them in bulk. You're only buying 18. Remember that. So just for the class purposes, let's put $3 for eggs since we're kind of in the middle. So I'm kind of going average. So let's say $3 for 18 eggs. And again, it's just for the exercise. You can plug this in after with actual pricing. Okay, so we've got $12 for cake mix, $3 for eggs. Vegetable oil is $2.35. So write down $2.35, okay? Water is $0. $0. But remember, you don't need 24 eggs, honey. You just need 18. $12 for cake mix, $3 for eggs, $2.35 for vegetable oil, $0 for the water. Let's talk about extract. Let's say you're gonna get your extract from the grocery store. We're just doing vanilla. The vanilla is how much at Walmart or Publix or whatever local store you are at. How much is the extract? Does anyone have an answer? How much is vanilla at $10? I believe that too. Is it $10? Is it? At Walmart? We're not talking about the big one at Sam's. It's at least gotta be like, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Do we wanna go with $5? We're just getting a small one at Walmart. Okay, Latoya says 5, I'm gonna go with her. Pan release is $2.35 as well. So here we go. Let's get it together really, really quickly. Cake mix, let's start over. I'm gonna add this up for everyone. Cake mix is $12. Eggs are $3. Vegetable oil is $2.35. Water is $0. Again, we're just talking about a small thing at Publix or Walmart. The extract is $5, and I've said this again, you can make changes to it afterwards. The pan release or Joy, whatever you want to use to spray, is $2.35. So our cake supplies, just cake mix, eggs, oil, water, extract, and pan release, is $47.03. So write that down, $47.03. That's a lot. $47.03, or you can say 4 cents, whatever makes you feel good. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the frosting supplies. Now, we're not gonna buy, I'm gonna scoot you guys up. We're not going to be purchasing the buttercream. We're gonna make American buttercream. So I'm gonna break that down for you, and then we need to discuss how many batches do we need. Okay, so again, all the total supplies for the cake supplies were $47.03, or you can say 4 cents, whatever makes you sleep better at night. Okay, so unsalted butter, 1 pound makes 1 batch. And because you can probably, since we're putting fondant on the cake, how did you come up with 24.70? Maybe I think I added mine wrong. Let me go back. I may have added it wrong. I think I did. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do too much. It added on top of 24.70. I apologize. I had some extra numbers in here that did not clear out. Forgive me. Let's redo that. It's 24.70. Sorry. I have my calculator here on the computer and then I'm trying to do this. So I apologize. So 24.70 for cake supplies. Sorry, it happens. Okay. I'll let y'all do the rest. Okay, so how many batches of American buttercream do we need to cover this cake and fill it? We're not putting a filling inside. We're just going to use buttercream. Okay, so we know that 1 batch, we're going to have a little bit left over. But on the 8-inch, it only took me 1 batch to cover an 8-inch cake and also put buttercream in the middle. So 1 batch here. We've got to make another batch here because it's a 6-inch. We're just going to put that out there. So 1 batch for this. And I would say 2 batches for this. So we basically need to make 2.5 batches. But if you're heavy-handed, we'll say 3 batches of buttercream. So let me give you the recipe really quick. I'd say I'm going to go with 3 batches. Okay, do you want to go with 4? Would we feel better with 4? I think 4. We'll go with 4. We'll go with 4 batches. 4 batches. Okay. So that means we need 4 pounds of unsalted butter. How much is unsalted butter? How much is it? Because you can go to Sam's and get the whole thing, and I think it's like $12. We're going to go with 4 batches for this. But again, like Melinda said, how much is 1 batch? And that's what we need to figure out. Either way, we can divide it up and figure it out. So 4 batches. How much is a pound of unsalted butter? Just how much is 1 pound of unsalted butter? Just 1. $4. It is like $4 and some change for butter right now. I'm not even gonna lie. $10. It's like $4.35 here. I'm like, where are y'all going? But again, we all live somewhere different and it's all priced different, and I definitely want to respect that. So let's say it's $4.50, so we can meet in the middle. Just meet in the middle with me. $4.50 times 4 is $18. So put $18 for butter. Let's put $0 for salt because, honey, everybody got salt, okay? Now, let's talk about the powdered sugar, all right? Now, powdered sugar is a little different for everyone. I can tell you right now that the powdered sugar at Sam's, the big pink bag, I know it's $4.35. I know because I just bought some. Now, you can get 2 batches out of 1 bag. And we need 4 batches, so we need 2 batches, 2 bags. Again, like I stated, You can make the adjustments as we go, but just for now, for the class, do this part. So the bag is two bags is $8.07. So let's just say with tax or whatever, let's just round up the powdered sugar since everyone's kind of different with it. Because again, a small bag isn't going to do it. The American Buttercream for one batch calls for 6 cups of powdered sugar. It's 1 pound of unsalted butter, 6 cups of powdered sugar, a little bit of salt, and coffee creamer or heavy cream, just so you know. So plug that in how you need to. I put $18 for the butter, $0 for the salt, and I'm gonna put $9 for the powdered sugar. We'll say 9. Okay, $18 for butter, 0 for salt, powdered sugar $9. Okay, and then let's say that we want to use coffee creamer. That alone is like $2.95. So we're just gonna say $3 for coffee creamer. Okay, just the small one. We're not getting the big one. Okay, because we could do this all day. $18 for the butter, 0 for the salt, $9 for the powdered sugar, and $3 we're going to use coffee creamer. So we are at $30. Correct me if I'm wrong. 18 plus 0 plus 9 plus 3. $30. So cake supplies cost $24.70. The frosting supplies are $30. So right now we are at a whopping $54.70. All right, let's move on to the next portion, which is the decorating supplies. Now this is going to be taboo because cake drums are crazy. Yes, you're correct. Before we move on and get to the good part, listen to me. Do what you need to do after this is over and plug in your own numbers. Kilo, pound, boo, whatever you need to do. But right now, this is what we're doing in the class as a whole. Okay? Also want to give a shout out to my concealer. Hello, blended very well. I just want to give a shout out to myself because I feel like it's flawless in this light. Shameless plug. Thank you. e.l.f. concealer. I appreciate that. Okay, let's get to the decorating supplies. The cake drum. Now, this cake drum is a 12-inch cake drum. I typically would like it to be a 14, but it's a 12. Now, a 12-inch cake drum is not cheap here in Texas. I'm just telling you that now. So, how much is a 12-inch cake drum and how much is the box? I'm going to say that the box is, in fact, I had a receipt for it too. Okay. How much is the cake drum and how much is the box? 12-inch cake drum and 12-inch box. Did you like that? I did something different this time. How much is the cake drum and how much is the box? Now, cake drums are going to be very surprising. In fact, I'm going to see. Again, I'm in my sweatpants. Do I have... I do not. I thought I did. The cake drum, I'm going to say, is $5. And we're going to say that the box is $1.25. So the cake drum is $5. The box is $1.25. So let's do that. How much are the dowels? Let's say you're going to do bubble tea straws, and then you're also going to do a dowel down the middle. The bubble tea straws are like $2 at the Asian market, just so you know. Okay, thank you. So I have $1.25 for the box, and I have $5 for the cake drum. the dowels, let's say you had to get the long dowel plus the bubble tea straws at the Asian market, I would say let's just put $5 for dowels, okay? $5 for dowels, $5 for cake drum, $1.25 for the cake box. Let's talk about the fondant. So we know, and let me just tell you right now, you're not gonna believe me. You're not gonna believe me about the fondant prices, but fondant isn't cheap, as you know. Do we wanna go with Wilton? Do we wanna go with Satin Ice? What do we wanna go with, and how much do we need? So I can tell you right now that 5-pound box of Wilton, just 5 pounds of fondant, period, you should be able to cover this entire cake. This is a 6, 8, and a 10. We'll get to the cake board. I'm not worried about it. 6, 8, and a 10. 5 pounds of fondant. I buy a regular box and just tape. So 5 pounds of fondant. I'm going to get to the board. It's a list, people. It's not going anywhere, but thank you. How much fondant? How much is 5 pounds of fondant? Everyone plug that number in, and while you think about it, we need 2 cake boards here. So just put in 75 cents for the cake boards, since 75 cents for the boards, okay? So everybody doesn't lose their minds. Okay, how much for 5 pounds of fondant? 75 cents for the 2 cake boards that you need, because you only need 2. Are we gonna go with Michael's? Okay, Ryan, the class isn't over, boo. We're getting there. Let's just go with $20 for the fondant. Let's just go with $20 for Wilton fondant or whatever fondant. We'll go with 20. Let's 20 or 25. Let's go with 25. $25. $25. Y'all trying to rush me? I got a process. We gonna get there. $25 for fondant. Okay. $5 for cake drum. $1.25 for the box. $5 for the dowel, 75 cents for the board, $25 for the fondant. That's where we're at. Ribbon is how much? How many of you don't even know how much ribbon is? I don't know how much ribbon is because I buy a lot of it. Ribbon is $4.99, and we need blue, and then we need red, and the ribbon and the bling is $4.99 also. So $4.99 times 3, and that's for the gold bling, that's for the navy blue, and that's for the red. So $15 for all the ribbon and the bling together. Ribbon and bling together is going to be $15, okay? Cake drum 5, box $125, dowels 5, board 75 cents, fondant $25, ribbon and bling together is $15. So let's talk about the topper here, and let's talk about the rest of the fondant. So let's get to the topper. This is covered in disco dust, and we needed a star cookie cutter. So you're gonna have to write, let's just pretend we have a star cookie cutter. Let's just pretend we do. If you don't, throw in $2. Disco dust is not cheap, people. Cake boards are 75 cents. Disco dust is how much? I don't even know how much disco dust is. I've just had this forever. This would be miscellaneous for those that need to know, and you can put /disco dust so you don't lose your place. How much is disco dust? And we're going to use a piece of our dowel to just hold that up if you're wanting to know. How much is disco dust? I got it from Sugar Art a long time ago. $6. I think it's $7 here. Okay, so $6 for disco dust. Now, So we're all good. We're all caught up. We're going to say $6 for the disco dust. Now, what we did not factor in just yet, or is we have red here, blue, and we have yellow fondant. So we have red, blue, and yellow. So now we have 3 colors of fondant. And no, we're not going to color it. We're going to buy it. Because let's just pretend you don't have any food coloring or whatever you need at the house. You don't need a lot, but you still need it. So let's say we're going to use, we only need what, like the 2 pound at any fondant source that you use, whether it be Satin Ice, Fondex, Wilton. How much is a 2 pound color of fondant? Let's just say at Michael's. Because whatever that price is, we need 3 of them. So how much is red or yellow or blue fondant, the 2 pound at Michael's? And whatever that one number is, it's like $10, right? It's okay, so $9. So let's just say 9 times 3. And that is gonna cover all of, it's $27. $27 just for the color. All right. So now it's time to add up everything. Let's start at the beginning. $5 for the cake drum, $1.25 for the box, $5 for the dowels and bubble tea straws, 75 cents for the boards, $15 for ribbon and bling together. Red, yellow, and blue fondant together is $27. Disco dust is $6. How much is that? We need to add all of that up. I'm adding it up too. $85, okay? Oh yeah, it's $85. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add our cake supplies, our frosting supplies, and our decorating supplies in just a minute. We can probably add it all together if you want. So let's get to the part, let's just add all that up. So 85 plus 2470 plus 30. It's 140. That's what I got. $139.70. So we're just gonna say 140. We're gonna round it up, put it as 140. 140 it is. We don't need 15 pounds of fondant. Okay. We already did all of that. So we're at 140. Okay. So let's talk about gas. This is the part that Ryan was wanting to know. Let's talk about gas and how much time it's going to take us to run around everywhere. So everyone lives somewhere different. So the question is, what is the cost of gas / miles for you to get all your supplies? You can go online. You can put in your gas mileage per your state. Here, we're not talking about cupcakes. You can apply this to cupcakes as well. It's the same breakdown because it's the same supplies. So what is it percent per mile? Let's see. So in the state of Texas, we'll just use this one. It is 58 cents per mile. So we're gonna just use this as a staple for right now for where we need to go. So what you can do is you can go on to MapQuest and you can put your home address. And then what you can do is you plug in Michael's, Sam's, wherever you need to go, the cake supply store, and you're gonna do a round trip. And the bottom address is going to be yours. You're going to start at your address and you're going to end at your address. Now, sometimes we go on our lunch breaks. So you need to put your work address, do what you need to do, and come back. So we are going to go, I don't know, how many miles do we want to go? How many miles is it going to take us to ride around everywhere? 60 miles? Let's say 60 miles. That comes out to 34.8. So let's just say we're going to spend $35 on gas, okay? Put $35 for gas. So now what we need to do is we need to put the $35 for gas plus the $140 because gas is part of the supplies. Tell me that you're with me. So right now for the gas and all the supplies that we added together is now $175. So remember, we all live somewhere different. You can plug in the miles and how long it's going to take you when you do the round trip. But remember, it's not just the miles. You still got to get out of the store. You got to stand in line. You got to put everything in the car. You got to get in the car. You don't know if you're going to run into traffic. You don't know if you're going to run into someone you don't know or you don't want to talk to. So don't forget that. So that's what's next. So $35 for gas. Again, that's just a staple for the class. You can make adjustments later. And we're going to add the $140, which was the total of the cake supplies, to the $35. And now we're at $175. The next question is, what is the amount of time it's going to take us to bake, cool, and decorate this entire cake? How many hours? If you say 3, I'm going to come through this phone and I'm going to slap your wrist. How many hours is it going to take us to go home, take our bra off, change our clothes, turn the oven on, and get started on this, okay? Like on Monday, how many hours in total is it going to take us from start to finish? That's what we need to know next. The mileage part, you can Google and see what your gas mileage is on reimbursement, and you can go to MapQuest and put your home address and all the plug-in places that you need to go with your home address at the bottom, and that's the round trip. How many hours is it going to take us to complete this from baking to cooling to decorating to frosting? How many hours is it going to take us? It's going to take us either 8, 12, 15. Let's just go with 10 hours because everyone's at a different level and everyone is at a different speed. Let's just say, okay, you're Miss Treats, you're going to have to watch the replay because it is not, it's not going anywhere, honey, but we can't go back. We're moving forward. And right now we have 29 minutes remaining in the class. Okay, so let's just go with 10 hours. Let's just be average. Let's go with 10 hours to bake, cool, and decorate this entire thing. Okay, so again, we picked 10. Y'all crazy. If I go to some of y'all's pages and look at y'all cake, y'all better not be spending 5 hours on this. It's not same day. You wouldn't bake this and cool this and decorate in the same day. And if you are, we need to have a conversation. No, no, and no. That is not what you need to be doing. Decorating too. Baking, cooling, frosting, decorating, stacking, everything. Ribbon, everything. Thank you. Yes, the replay is going to be available. How many hours? 10, or say 10 hours. 10 hours. Okay, so write that down. 10 hours. We didn't say nothing about cleanup. We didn't say nothing about you taking a shower. We didn't say nothing about taking your lashes off. We didn't say anything, okay? Now, the next question is the amount of time it took to drive around and purchase all the supplies at each location. How many hours is that going to take us? I'm saying, because most people are saying 12 hours, we said 10 hours to cool, bake, and decorate. Let's throw the 2 hours in to drive around everywhere and pick up stuff. So now we're at a total of 12 hours. 12 hours for drive time and 12 hours for picking up supplies. Okay, let's move on. What you want to do now is subtract the price. Remember at the beginning, you guys were throwing out prices. So what you want to do is subtract the price that you charged originally from the total of gas and supplies. So some of you charged $500, remember? Remember, gas and supplies for this were $175. So whatever original price that you put on your paper that you threw in the comments, get that paper and subtract it from 175. Is everybody there? Subtract the price you originally charged from the total of supplies and gas. Remember, supplies and gas were $175. So if you charge $650, you need to subtract $175. We're not finished. If you subtract $300, if you put $300, you subtract $175. Some of you put $1,000. Whatever your price is, we're not done. This is the part that we're gonna get to that your stomach's gonna hurt and you're gonna be mad at yourself, you're gonna be mad at me, child. I don't know, but let me tell you. Okay, so remember, subtract the price you originally charged from the total of supplies and gas. Write that number down. Write that number down. Write it down. So you're gonna take the number that you wrote down and you're gonna divide it by the total hours it took you to drive, cool, bake, and decorate. So remember, if you charged $800 and you subtract $175, this is the example, that's $625. Now you want to divide that by 12 because that's how many hours it took you to bake, cool, and do everything. That means I'm going to be making $52 an hour. How much are you making an hour? That's the question. Because a lot of times we forget how much we want to pay ourselves. And that's the problem. A lot of us are just looking at the decor. I'm going to flip you back up. A lot of us are looking at the decor and they're like, oh, this is easy. I'm only going to charge $75. Oh, this is easy. I'm only going to charge $125. But you forget how much time you're really putting into it. You're forgetting how much time it takes for the gas and for you to get home and do all of these things. So whatever price, again, remember, subtract the price you charged from the total of supplies and gas. Whatever number that is, divide that number by 12 because that's how long it took us to drive around, bake, cool, and decorate. And that is how much you make an hour for this particular cake. So what I want you to do is ask yourself if you would go work for someone for the amount of money that you make per hour. Now, some of y'all in here lying. Some of y'all in here lying and faking the funk, honey, and tricking like you got it because you really would not have charged it. You just did it for the class. I know it. I know it. Some of y'all were being honest. Some of y'all were being shady on this shady Sunday. Ooh, Cheryl, honey, $7. That's minimum wage. And if you're not sure, don't forget there is going to be a replay that you can watch, or again, you can purchase my cake guide, www.yourcakediva.com. It's $10. I suggest you getting the cake guide. It has everything and not just buying the $500 contract. I mean, $5 contract. Ask yourself if the money that you are making for an hour you would make somewhere else. Okay, since Miss Lee is stuck on cupcakes, let's go ahead and address that. What would you do for cupcakes? Yes, Miss Lee, I have a 2 dozen minimum. I wouldn't make 12 of anything for anyone. Again, the cake supplies, which you can go back and watch if you haven't been watching from the beginning, this is cake mix. And if you want to make your cakes from cake mix, this cake supplies and frosting would apply to you. I'm not going to do any cupcakes that are less than $35 to $37 a dozen, and that's plain. So let me just get that cupcake stuff out the way so we can keep it moving. If you bake from scratch, this price needs to be more. Because we just did it with cake mix. If you are baking from scratch, your amount should be twice as much. Because a lot of y'all people who bake from scratch think y'all better than the rest of us. I'm not doing it for anything for $10. I'm not even gonna look at you. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm not gonna look your way for $10. So here's what I want you to do. Yes, if you bake from scratch, your price for your supplies and stuff is gonna be a lot more. So again, that's what I was stating in the beginning. You need to take this information and plug in your numbers for where you live and where you're at. Now listen to me and listen good. Ask yourself how much additional money you want to make a month. Let's say that your kids are on the dance team. Let's say you have 2 kids, honey. Let's say you have Lisa and Bonet. Okay, 2 separate kids. Lisa and Bonet. They're both in dance class. And Lisa is a great dancer, but Bonet be all over the place. She don't know what she's doing. You know she's not going to make it. It's not going to work out for her. But you don't want to ostracize your kids. If those dance classes are $700 for Lisa and Bonet, instead of you taking money out of your paycheck, then maybe your cake money needs to be paying for Lisa and Bonet. You just gonna have to suck it up until she just don't want to do it no more because she's just not coordinated. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Write down your home expenses. Write down your credit card debt. And anything that you do, that money needs to go towards that. So do you tell people it's 2 dozen per flavor? Yes, Megan, I do. Because I'm not going to make 2 different cake mixes for that reason. I also freeze my batter. So let's say you have enough in there, right? We did not add electricity. And the reason why we didn't, because y'all are already in a state of shock. And Betty, if you are baking out of a commercial kitchen, you need to add those rates to your rate of the cake. That should not be something that you're not adding in. Honestly, I kept my price lower because I'm a home baker and I felt it wasn't a level. Monica, Monica, let me tell you. Let me take my lashes off, Monica. And let me tell you, let's get real. Monica, you don't ever say that. Don't you do that. I look like a whole new person. Monica. A lot of people who are home bakers, their cakes look better and taste better than a bakery does. So get real. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. Honey, you done made me take my whole lashes off. Don't do it, Monica. You need to charge what you need to charge. Let's have a look at that. And if you like it virtually, can you imagine what it is like in real life? I just want to put that out there. Do you find box cake tastes better? I'm not even going to get into that. I use box cake and I never have anybody complain about box mix, but some cakes you do need to bake from scratch. Look at that. Look. This is scratch. See how it looked more expensive? It looked more expensive. See? It looked more expensive when you do the scratch. Look. Scratch, home baker. Scratch, home baker. Costs more. The supplies cost more. It costs more. I told you they wasn't real. Look, I'm putting them right back on. And they're going to go right back. Okay. What other questions do we have? Look at that. Look. And I did that with my left hand. Come through. Yes. Yes. Come on to Texas. We got a whole cake class happening in October. Okay, so does anyone, we have 17 minutes left. Does anyone have any questions about anything that we talked about? Shayna, I don't know how I did that, girl, putting the lashes on like that. I don't know how I did look, and they look even too. Woo! So what I want you to do after this class, it's okay, you can catch the replay. What I want you to do is do this. We're in August. We're now in a full entanglement in August. So after today, I want you to look at what you've been pricing. Go back and look and see what you've been charging. And what you want to do from this day moving forward, take vows to yourself and charge more. Let's say that you've been charging $5 a serving, which is not enough. Not this day and age with butter and everything else, honey. It's just not enough. I mean, if you're at $5 and you're afraid to maybe go so high, then maybe you need to go to $6. I say go to $6.50 if you're at $5. If you're at the $6.50 mark, go to $7, $7.25. It's okay. Again, yes, do what you need to do. I'm just telling you, it's okay. You do not have to explain yourself. The number one thing I want to tell you is this. Okay, so someone asked if you're baking from home LLC. Okay, Johnny, please go to my Instagram page. I actually posted this on my Instagram page this morning about LLC and S Corp. So definitely check that out. I say LLC. The other thing is you want to get insurance. You can go, let's say you have an apartment, you can do your renter's insurance. Through your renter's insurance, you can get cake insurance, especially if you're going to be doing cakes at venues. I do not suggest getting $1 million policy. You are not Oprah. Oprah's not eating your cake right now. Maybe one day, but not in COVID. I don't want to take away your hopes and dreams, honey. But what I want to tell you is get you some insurance. Get you like a $30,000 policy, $25,000 policy. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. My other suggestion, if you don't want to use Google Voice, which is not my go-to, you can use eVoice. You can get texting through an app. You can get fax if you need it, but you don't need it. If you have an iPhone, you can use Notes, which I gave that information earlier. You can get text, phone calls. You can use your number. It can forward to your personal number. So check it out, eVoice. I think it's like $12 a month, but it has a great lady with an English accent that makes your services and your products sound expensive. Okay, let's see what we got. So let me tell you something. We have 15 minutes left. Let me tell you one thing you need to do. This goes for men and women, of course. If you're a mother or father, single parent, whatever the case may be, what I want to tell you is this, is do not forget that you are using your hands, your mind, your creativity. You're using your time, you're using your phone, you're using your laptop, you're doing all of these things for business. And what I want to tell you is, Holly, good question, is even in the beginning, don't feel like you don't have to charge as much, because the supplies cost the same for you as for the rest of us who've been doing it forever or just started. So don't sell yourself short. As a home baker, Anissa Porter, make sure you check out your home cottage laws. You need to check your state and see what certifications you may need to be a home baker to be in compliance. Don't be afraid. Right now we're in a time that's a little different. My suggestion during COVID, because there's not a lot of large parties, there's not lavish weddings anymore and things like that, people are scaling down. Some people have lost their jobs, some people are still working. People want nostalgic things right now. My suggestion during COVID, you can do like a mini pop-up shop, but like I said, do a pre-order, have people do like a drive-through situation with the pre-order, so you don't have a lot of, physical contact. The other thing is people like pound cake right now. They like big pieces of brownies. They like cookies. Everyone is in a mood of family and what's easy. People that don't know how to bake are acting like they can bake bread right now. I don't know why, because they've taken all the yeast from the grocery store, honey. But what I will tell you is this. Charge your worth. You saw the number of what you're getting paid per cake. So maybe what you need to do right now is ask yourself what you want to make per hour and apply that on top of the cake supplies. Now, some of you may be out of range. Some of you might be saying, I'm trying to make $50 an hour. And you might be a little crazy in the range with that. You may or may not, depending on your area. On the East Coast, it costs more to live. So their pricing is going to be different than where yours are at. So my dollar cupcake is actually still available. I don't really have too much time to get into that, but the dollar cupcake is available on the website. Yes, for those that are not experienced, will take longer. How you factor in the hour, how much, it doesn't matter. I don't think that you lower your standards, Alicia, to say, oh, I'm only going to charge $7 because, you know, I don't have that much experience. It's really up to you, but you need to cover your supplies. And I think that's what you keep forgetting. So for all the newbies out there, at least get your supply costs back. I understand if you're a little nervous of charging too much, but $10 an hour is nothing these days. So if you're starting out, you just need to pick a number that works for you, that you're comfortable with, okay? To the rest of you who've been doing it, not even charging $7 or $8, baby, y'all need to go up, up, and away. It is time. The biggest thing that you don't need to do, and let me say that one more time, the thing you don't want to do is make the announcement on social media. Oh, I'm going up on my prices. Honey, do not do that. I can show you better than I can tell you. Just raise your prices on your own. Don't make the announcement. You could scare your customers that you currently have, or you could scare away potential customers because they may feel like they can't afford you before they even ask. So the other part is, let's see, how they need to remember the sole prop tax, and that impacts that hourly wage. Yes, it does, but everyone is different. A lot of people are home bakers, are not thinking of that. Now, let me tell you one thing about your taxes. If you have not registered your name and you are taking money online, the government is coming for you. Again, the government is coming for you. So if you are just starting out, I don't know, Nicole, what your profit should be, because we don't know your finances, honey. That's between you and your husband, or you by yourself, or you and your partner. So what I want to tell you is, if you are starting out and you're going to start taking money, you need to go to the courthouse and you need to register, do your LLC, do whatever you want to do, because the government will come for you like they did for me in 2012. I had been taking money on PayPal for orders, and I got hit with the $15 tax fee. I haven't gotten an income tax since then. So there you have it. If you have been taking money and you've been doing this and you have not registered, you need to, but just know Uncle Sam is coming for you. The other thing is, we did not include cleanup. We did not include electricity. However, you need to factor those things in as well. And don't forget, we touched a little bit on delivery, as it shouldn't be any less than $50. That's a lot of time and money. It's cake insurance. So make sure that you do what you need to on your end to cover your gas and time and experience. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching and being here with me today. Hopefully you were entertained and it didn't drag out too long. And I hope we covered everything. I know there was a lot of questions at the beginning, but again, protect yourself with the contract. Know your worth. If you're afraid to give the price, do it anyways. And you want to know why I say that? You got into this business and you knew nothing about it. You thought it was cute and fun, and you got into it, and again, you put all your stuff on social media and you had your friends and family gas you up, boo, and now you're like, you know, cake boss. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you took the leap in the step to get into something you didn't know about, why not take the step in the leap to charge what you need? If you're vegan or gluten-free baker, boo, you need to be charging 3 times as much, because the supplies cost a lot. I do, again, if you are purchasing supplies, keep your receipts. You can have a separate account, but if not, keep your receipts for your accountant. So you definitely need to remember that. And look, if you have a college degree, you don't go into a job not expecting to get paid a certain amount. And you have to remember, when you're dealing with clients, you are bringing all of these things to them. It's not just your suggestions, it's your experience, it's your creativity, it's the time in your refrigerator, and it's the time away from your family and your children or your spouse, and even for yourself. And I think that you have to remember to try to keep a well-balanced life with both. Again, we talked about it. Don't forget, you know, whatever your wine or drink threshold is, if it's 3 cups of wine or 3 glasses of wine or whatever the case may be, then that may be how many cakes that you need to take for the week. You don't want to overwork yourself to the point that you burn out. And don't forget, if you are a mother or you are a single father or whatever the case is, you are teaching your children how to be a boss and an entrepreneur. And I'm just telling you right now, That is the best gift and the best example you can be for your children. Some of you are in relationships where you feel like your spouse is jealous because you're getting better and better. All you can do is try to help them understand, because sometimes we just need something for ourselves and sometimes that's hard. The other tip I have is do not do cakes for family. A lot of times people complain and want their money back. They're going to call your mom. They're going to call your cousin. It's going to get around. Don't do it. Look, if your friends don't order from you, be glad, because you don't want to lose a friendship over cake and treat supplies. It's really not worth it. And if they ask you for a discount, simply say, if you want to support me by paying the full price like everyone else, because that is not a supportive family member or friend asking you for a discount. Just simply say thank you so much, because they will always pay full price for other people's services before they pay for yours. And even though that sounds crazy, that's exactly what happens in real life. So again, you can catch my cake guide with my contract and my processes. Again, it's $10 on my website. I'm also on Instagram. Y'all make sure you clap at home and give it up for Cake Expo. Jennifer, thank you again for having me. And don't forget, I'm gonna model really quick. You can get this cute little shirt here. This is the first virtual cake thing. I mean, as far as like this goes, along with another one. So I really enjoyed it. I know 2 hours may seem like a lot of time, but know your word. Thank you again, everyone, and enjoy your Saturday evening. Don't forget to watch the replay. Thanks, everyone.